Hello guys, this is Azrael. Thank you for tuning into my channel. This video will be probably separated into different parts, but this is the rite of necromancy, basic rite. This is not the only way to do this. It's a pretty effective way. Okay, so here I have my necromantic altar. Okay, definitely watch the videos preceding this. Okay, you want to get some ideas on rocks, herbs, and whatnot. Definitely, you should have been working with these exercises. There will be more exercises given in different lessons that you can sew and piece together to help develop your psychic or awareness. Okay, astral eyes, astral ears, and whatnot. Okay, so first, if you're going to use a psychopomp, select one, obviously. Get a working relationship with that entity, giving it offerings or praying to it, devotions, whatever. Okay, psychopomps are not needed, but they help. They are kind of like the bouncer to help make sure that the spirit you're contacting is more than likely at least the spirit you're contacting, as opposed to just shouting out and any not having a safety measure. Okay, so now I've also talked about ancestral altars. Now you could actually have the ancestral altar next to it with a spirit, or an altar that to the spirit you're trying to contact to help bring in more of their energy. Okay, and you could use a necromantic wand, or your finger, or your ceremonial dagger. For example, my father's altar is where he died, in the upstairs room. Which at some point during the ritual, after I address the psychopomp and start the ritual going, I will visualize his energy to point to where it's at, and visualize that I'm drawing that energy into the altar area. Okay, now you are going to need a little box. Think of these boxes as a cross between a portable shrine and a mojo bag. And that's basically what they kind of are. The spirit you summon will be given permission to reside into the box. Now, I've got me a little coffin box because it's being festive. It's getting close to Halloween, and my local Dollar Tree is selling these little boxes inexpensive. There could be any box. You could have it as elaborate or as mundane as possible. I have several. For example, my dad's box actually came from him. This belonged to him. And inside his little box, I have, things like his name tag, where he used to work, things that he started collecting. He liked to collect stamps, some of his stamps, stuff that identify him with me. Picture of him when he was healthy and working. Okay, that's what I'll use. Now, have everything already set up. All the herbs you're going to be using, the incense, the offerings. When you get into an altered state, now you don't have to be too much in an altered state when you divine with like a pendulum or dowsing rods. But if you were going to scry and try to see the spirit in the mirror, or try to see it in a physical form, which would probably materialize off center of the altar. More on that later, or whatever. But you will definitely not want to fall out of that state. One of the biggest problems when people try to summon a spirit to a physical appearance or an astral appearance, it's usually user error. They are not in the right frame of mind, or they are in the altered state, but do not maintain that altered state. And if you are a beginner, the best way to get out of an altered state is if you have to sit down and think what you need to do next. Okay, so big thing, have everything on your altar that you're going to be using already. Okay, so let's get started. First thing you're going to need is a sigil. Sigil, a sigil, a sigil. You're going to need two different sigils. A sigil of your psychopomp, which you can find online or in a book, whatever. There's a lot of these sigils that are traditional or very old, used. Try to use those if possible. Like this one. This is the sigil of Azrael, the my angelic saint, the angel of death. Got a little pet ghost pushy. Anyway, so okay now, and the second sigil will be of the sigil of the entity or the name of the one you're trying to summon. If you do not know the name of the person, you're just trying to summon a spirit in a house that the name is not known, well, all you have to do really is, after you address the psychopomp, call out to it, or even call out to it directly. Of course, with these kind of rituals, always cleanse your area and get a circle of protection. Okay, now, if you, obviously you're going to have to make a sigil if you know the entity's name. Say you're trying to summon one of your friend's grandmothers. You take her name and make a sigil for her. Okay? We are going to pretend summon a spirit today. So I created a character. Her name is Amy. Why? She died by too many duck face photos off Facebook. It's a very bad habit. Yeah, so don't do it. Anyway, I created a sigil for her name. Okay? So that is a sigil for the psychopomp and a sigil for the spirit. Two sigils. Okay? Both of them must be activated. Now, in sigil magic, a lot of times you'll activate the sigil, you'll burn it or hide it or do whatever. This will not be the case for these kind of rites. You will keep the sigil. So you activate the sigil by on these. There's hundreds of ways to activate sigils. Watch videos on those, but in this case, you meditate on the sigil. You gaze at it. You look at it almost like you're scrying on the sigil. You address the psychopomp, or in this case, Azrael, and I have a cute little chant, which I'll probably have to redo because the video quality really sucks. I'm not going to get into it right now because I'll save that for that video. But, you know, so basically, hey, Azrael, from beyond the veil, from you I beseech, knowledge beyond my reach, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, or Hecate, or whatever. Hell, your psychopomp can be your great-grandmother, or your mother. My father and my mother will be the pantheon, heads of my family pantheon, or yeah, I'll say that because my family is rulers. My family, they are the patriarch and the matriarch of my family. So if I need to contact any of my ancestors, I will go through them. They will be my psychopomp. Okay. So after it has been activated, you place your shrine box opened on top of the activated sigil. Here, you will start thinking about the deceased person very intently as you add the ingredients. And every time you pick up an ingredient in your box, you'll call their name silently to yourself or out loud, don't matter. But try to feel them, feel that presence. Try to visualize them coming to you, or at least acknowledging you, even if it's in your mind's eye, they're picking up a telephone. Yes, hello, you know, whatever. You're visualizing that person, acknowledging that you're talking to them. All right, this is a polished shungite. Shungite is a stone usually found in Russia, or mainly or only found in Russia. And it's black, and it's associated with, and to me, it's associated with Saturn. Black onyx is associated with Saturn. Now, Saturn, of course, you know, is these, if you've been watching my videos, is the planet that rules over necromancy. Saturday's the day, blah, 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 blah. If you find a black stone that is not associated with Saturn, and the books that give correspondences, you still can use it because it is black, and black is the color of necromancy, so it would still have the vibrations. Okay, but these two stones are associated with that. Into the box. Place with it a crystal. It don't have to be one like this, but a quartz crystal. A quartz amplifies energy, amplifies anything that you add with it. So this is going to amplify all my offerings. Stone or not stone, it's going to amplify the energy. When I put the energy into the box, it's going to be amplified. And of course, you're going to want an amethyst. Amethysts are good to increase psychic abilities. Next to the quartz, of course, which makes it amplified, right? At this point, you could again add offerings, herbs, too. Dandelion root's one of my favorite go-to. Tobacco is a good to go to. If they were a smoker, they will definitely like the tobacco. If they were not a smoker, it doesn't matter because you're not using the actual herb as a drug that that the spirit would smoke. It's still using the vibrations that it's associated, and like for example, Native American cultures, it was used as an offering to the dead. Okay, so then you're going to put in rivets or anchors or whatever you want to call them, but they are objects that belong to the individual. Again, if you don't have them, you don't have them. There's not much you can do about that. But if you don't have them, of course, this helps, right? The sigils. So let's put Amy's photo in the box. Maybe her wedding ring or engagement ring or whatever, just jewelry, right? Makes you just gotta put that in there. Of course, like I showed you earlier, it could be my father's name tags because it belonged to him. Now, here's a lot of people like to offer silver coins. Of course, because in the especially in the ancient world, this was a symbolic gesture that they would have money to pay the boatsmen to cross the river Styx. Either way, it's symbolic. So I don't have silver coins, so I went to my local mineral shop, or you can order them online. But this is real silver shavings in a little glass jar. Now, silver is associated for protection against things like the undead, for example, vampires or whatnot. So I say a lot of people will be thinking, well, gee, why would you want to do that? Well, first of all, it's symbolic. It's worth something, and you're giving them an offering. Two, I use any metal would do, precious metal, if you want to go this route. Gold was given to gods and stuff like that. But we're talking about the spirits of human dead. Now, gold is associated with the sun, which could probably add a little bit of the wrong kind of energies because we're focusing on the dead, and the moon rules over that aspect. Silver is ruled by that aspect. So, not trying to keep yourself away, the spirits away by protecting yourself. This is not a war. This is, again, an offering. All right. Now, it's also customary to give them a little bit of alcohol. Now, some people will put it in their mouth and spit the alcohol in the box. Some people will just pour the alcohol or spit in the box. Either way, you'll have different people who have different schools of thought. Do what is right for you on this one. If you want to do the alcohol at all, however, it is a very customary offering to the dead. So, and that's what we're doing. We're adding anything we can do to add to the ritual to focus that kind of intent. So, another thing that you'd be probably doing, and again, don't do this if you're not comfortable with it. I'm a diabetic, so I will use a diabetic needle blood tester to prick my finger, and I will place my blood into the box. Now, the school of thought, usually there's two of them. I'll do separate videos on this, but to give you a quick little reference, because I don't think it's anybody who's learning to do a ritual should know what the hell they're doing and what's associated with, at least to some extent. All right. The school of thought is, well, hey, it's a part of a sacrifice. Well, this is a valid point. However, I don't really see it like this. Yes, it is a giving a part of me up, but it's actually just giving a part of the energy up, right? Now, in this kind of sense, just like a candle flame touches the wick of another candle and gives it life. This is basically what this is doing. Okay, it's not so much the sacrifice that, oh, like you see in the movies. This is more of I prick my finger, living blood is going into something that represents something that is not living to give it life. So this is definitely a passing on the flame to communicate, kind of like middle ground, I guess you would say, passing it on. I'm going to stop the video here and go on with part 2.